Okay. Ready? Oops. 南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛. That means seeking refuge in the fundamental teacher, Shakyamuni Buddha. The Sutra opening kata. The Dhamma, infinitely profound and subtle, is rarely encountered even in a million kalpas. Now we are able to hear, to study, and to practice. May we fully understand and realize the Tathagata's true teachings. Okay, we are still on this 42 chapters. So we are on chapter 12. Hopefully, we'll finish chapter 12 today. Hopefully. We still have a few difficulties left. We talk about the 20 difficulties that practitioners face or people face in a human lifetime, and we have talked about like difficult to offer to be generous when one is poor. Remember that? That's one of the difficulties. And tonight we will look at the rest of the 20 difficulties. I think it's from 12, no 8, from 8 to no. It's the 12th, 11th. This is the 11th. Is it difficult to extinguish? No. Did we talk about extinguish self-conceit last time? Did we talk about difficult to face humiliation without anger? Yeah, okay, good. So, is it difficult to extinguish self-conceit? This is the number 12 difficulties. Self-conceit, where does it come from? What do you think? Ego, yeah. Where else can it be, right? Ego. My views, attached to my views. My views is the most correct one. And my views actually come from where? Come from the ego. And where? How does it affect us? Because of this pride and craving, right? Where does pride comes from? Yeah, ignorance. Yeah, ignorance. And to get what one wants, to make it the way I like it, not the way it is, it's all self-conceit. Because when it's so difficult to extinguish this pride, this self-conceit, because we think we are better than others. We are higher than others. We are more value than others. So we belittle others, or we look down upon others, or we think that others think they're not as good as ours. So pride could be of two types. The pride from superiority feeling. I'm better. I'm definitely better than you. So you got to listen to me. Okay, so that's one. And then with these kind of people, they tend to what? A lot of time they tend to exaggerate and show off, right? You see that down south, Mr. T, right? So it's really exaggerated. It's really. Sometimes I watch these kind of news clips and I thought, geez, what's this on the mind of this man, or on the mind of these people? What's going on there? How can people say such thing? I just don't know, And I mean, suppose you be standing right in front of the public and you are fighting for the benefits of the whole nation, and you just think, wow, do I need a prime minister or president like that? But anyway, show off, right? And or the second pride is the pride of because of inferiority, being inferior, feeling inferior. Why do you think that would actually be one of the what it causes one of pride, one of the two types of pride, feeling inferior? It's a protection. It's a project, it's a shield. Oh yeah, you know, I don't need so much because they are really not necessary. When, for example, if I'm poor and I see, oh, people is driving nice car and or whatever, and I said, oh wow, I wish I would have that car. No, I don't need that car. What's the car for? Car is just for, you know, convenience. I don't need that. Even though it starts falling apart, you keep saying that, no, I don't need it, because that's a kind of protection, protecting your own inferiority complex or feeling inferior. And you can call it is actually a pretentious pride. Yeah. Can you call that? Is it pretentious? Like pretending to be, you know, I am okay. So you can call it a pretentious pride. Does that sound reasonable? No, Laurie? Thinking.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the word pretentious.
Don't use pretentious then. Okay. So and or for example, oh, she's pretty and she's having all this facial lifting and everything. Oh, I don't need that. You know, it's okay. I don't need to be beautiful. You know, I don't need to be. But deep down, that person really wants to be beautiful. She wants some facelift. She wants some cosmetic, but she doesn't get it because maybe, you know, certain reasons that she couldn't get it. But she tried to pretend that she doesn't need it. And she put up that, oh no, you know, I'm fine. I'm okay. I don't need those. You see these people around, right?
Like a false humility.
Yeah, yeah.
People, I think, also do that if they have an illness
Mm.
or
Never.
they almost take pride in the pain that they have, or they take pride in
Ah,
the illness that they have. So they want to, they're actually looking for
really?
that sympathy, but
Um,
instead they're you know, like, I'm fine, but let me tell you about all the I can't say this today. I can't remember.
don't say it then.
Just leave it.
Just leave it. Say it next time, all right? So it's actually very difficult to eradicate pride in us because our attachment to our views is so strong, whether it is being built up this life or whether it comes from our old habits. It's very strong. And actually, a lot of time, intentionally or unintentionally, our pride actually, you know, play its own role right there. And you can you can see yourself, you know, when you look at people's doing things. No, this is not right. You should do it this way. Already the pride is playing out, right? And if that person listen to you, then it's fine and okay. If they don't listen to you, then we will probably start an argument. No, I think it's this way, and then the other person, no, this is better. You know, then, you know, keep fighting and crashing. So, or you know, that's actually very, very important, and it's actually very difficult to eradicate. And that's why if one is able to eradicate the pride completely down to nothing, one would attain the fourth enlightenment. so you can see how difficult it is. Okay. So if we choose to walk on this path, especially from all this knowledge that we have been studying, we have actually collected, especially about the dependent arising, you know, the dependent origination. We don't come here out of a blue moon. Things don't just appear on the table of a blue moon, because of all these conditions that bring something together right in front of us, or of all the conditions that, you know, bring a situation that we have to face, is all dependent origination. Then if we start to see that a little bit more often, we start to look at our life situation, we start to look at the relationship more from this perspective, and we will start to hopefully we will start to accept the situation the way it is more and more. Then hopefully our pride won't play out that much. Hopefully that pride will play out less and less. All right? So start to look at start to look at life situations, start to look at your relationship, start to look at your practice, start to look at anything in this lifetime from that point of view, dependent origination, the law of causation. Yeah? Then you'll be happier and you'll be more humble, actually, more and more humble. Okay? 13. It is difficult not to belittle those who are unlearned. You can actually see that the link between this and the last one is the pride. And because of pride, a lot of times we belittle others. We look down upon others, especially those juniors. Yeah? Like the mango story that I had, right? About the mango story. Oh, if you want a mango next time, then you better ordain earlier. You become a more senior nun, then you got to pick your fruits, right? So, I mean, of course, that was a joke, but you can say it's so easy to actually belittle others. We all, I mean, maybe a lot of us have experienced that in our high school or in our university when they make fun of freshmen, right? What do they call that? Brag? Yeah. So, that happens in university. Why? It's the pride that I am seniors. I can belittle you, I can play you, and I make fun of you. So when somebody belittle others, what do you think that they are feeling in their mind? Very superior. I'm powerful, I'm superior. Like the bully child. Remember the bully child? Why did you bully? Because it makes me feel powerful, right? So that's why they belittle others. That's why they bully others, because that makes them feel powerful, and they want to feel powerful, so they belittle others. Some people belittle others because it could be as a thought of revenge. Yeah. Because they were like not given things that they when they were little, or when they were young, or when under some circumstances they were not given things, and so when they reach a more senior state, then they belittle the juniors. That, well, when I was like you, I don't get those. Now you won't get those. So it's just like parents. Some parents thought they did not have such privileges when they were younger. So when they have children, they try to provide as much as they can to the children, because they were deprived. But some parents would say, well, when I was your age, I did not get anything, so you won't get anything from me. I have known parents like that. And so they won't give the child anything. Nothing at all, even though that they can afford to. So you could say that they actually belittle their own children, right? But you belittle others, not necessarily not your own families. Okay, it could be your family, it could be your friends, it could be anybody. It could be just somebody walking on the street, right? And you look at it, oh, he's useless or she's useless. Why would you feel that he is useless or she is useless? You don't even know them. Why? Because of that superiority pride, that pride in that, and that mindset of immediately judging people. Oh, you're no good. You're not as smart as I am. Okay, so when they become old birds, sometimes people take it out onto the young birds. Yeah, so this is the 13th difficulty. You see, so fast, because these are so. We are actually past most of the very detailed chapters of the 42 chapters. Yeah, you find it strange because just of these 12 chapters, it's almost the same number of pages in the commentary, as the rest of the 42 chapters. Most of them, yeah, okay. So the 14th and 15th, we can actually look at it together. It is difficult for the mind to act with impartiality, or it is difficult not to gossip or be judgmental. We could look at these two together. It's so difficult to actually keep the mind in a equanimous state. Yeah. So difficult for the mind to act with impartiality. That means be equanimous, have heightened equanimity. Because we always judge people, we always judge things, situations, whether we always judge, oh, this is pleasant, this is unpleasant, this is good, this is bad, this is black, this is white. We always do that. So fast. Whenever we see something, oh, bad or good, black or white, pleasant or unpleasant, I like it or dislike it. So fast. Sometimes we can't even know. We don't even know that we have already judged, right? And before we know, it's already, sometimes, a lot of times, we express them in actions already. Okay, so these all come from a mind with desires. Anything that I like, or I want to bring benefit to me, it's good, and it is pleasant, and I like it. Anything that I don't like, or won't bring any benefit to me, oh, this is bad, this is dark, and this is unpleasant, and this is not nice. How can we be equanimous? Once we start to judge, how can we be equanimous? How can we start to see things as they are? We can't, and we won't, right? So it's actually very difficult for the mind to be equanimous if we do not train ourselves. Yeah. So when you come to that, then it's very difficult not to gossip or be judgmental. Because once you start to look at things, and before you realize, the mind already start to judge, and then you will start to like or dislike, and then you start to judge whether it's right or wrong. And then when you come together in a group or with a couple of people, then you start to, oh, that bad, so bad. And then, hey, you know what? Hey, she did this, and I don't think it's right. I think this is not right. So that's why I wanted to look at this together. So it's actually difficult to remove arrogance. And these all actually come from pride, I think. All come from pride and arrogance. And it's actually very difficult to remove. If these are removed, then it is very, very likely that we will be able to deal with situations with equanimity. But we could improve ourselves, less judgmental, one little step at a time. Okay, when we start to judge, it's like, oh, shut up. Well, we used to say like 3 sentences. Now I say only 1 sentence, and then shut up, or even walk away. Then you start to realize, you start to be aware more earlier and earlier, and hopefully you start to build into a mode that you don't go into being so judgmental so fast, so soon, and so strong. Yeah, it's very difficult, very, very difficult. I can laugh about it, but I always be so judgmental. Right? Yeah, okay. I'm not speeding, I tell you, because there's really not much to talk about. It is difficult to meet the right learned teacher. Okay, this is nice. Okay, sorry. I actually I don't need to. We don't need to see the rest. Okay, it is difficult to meet the right and learned teacher. In the Nikaya, the Buddha actually gave us some guidelines. He said, you can check the Tathagata. So I look at Tathagata as the teacher. Okay, so I think we could actually use some of the standards that actually the Buddha wrote out for us to check him, to check our teacher. Okay, so I took a few out that I think is appropriate right now to talk about. I know these words are too small. Oh, I should have actually. I did not increase the font size. Can you see from the back? Okay, you're very good eyes. Or the TV is very good. Sorry, judgmental again. All right. Okay, the first one is you look at your teacher. Are there any defiled states cognizable through the eye or the ear in the Tathagata? What do you mean? How do you understand by defiled states cognizable through the eye?
Or just the way that they carry themselves and present themselves.
Is there a single word that can?
Can you see something?
Huh?
Can you see something?
It's through the eye.
Yes, okay.
Through the eye. Huh? Appearance? Hmm. Huh? Yeah. What is killing? Killing is an action. Yeah. Killing is an action, a behavior, isn't it? So cognizable through the eye, that means actions that can be perceived by others' eyes. So does the Tathagata has any defiled states cognizable through the eyes of us? Can we see the actions of the teachers, defiled actions of the teachers? If you can see such actions from a teacher, that means, is that teacher qualified to be your teacher? Yeah, bravely say no. Bravely say no. And bravely don't follow. Because then you will be walking down the wrong path if you follow. And if you don't bravely say yes, then you will try to follow. Right? Bravely say yes. This is not proper. This is not correct. But I'm not going to follow you. Okay? And he said, are there any defiled states cognizable through the ear? What do you mean? Teachings, yeah. The things that you hear, are they correct? Are they correct? I just saw a news clip this afternoon about 67 Buddhist organizations coming together to make an announcement about one so-called teacher in Taiwan, very, very popular man, called, the 67 organizations, Buddhist organizations across Southeast Asia coming together, making a statement that this is a cult. Okay, so they have to be very brave to see that, because they hear and they see the actions of that teacher. They hear the teachings of him is using the Buddhist teachings in a cult form. So they came out to actually make a statement. 67. So the words of your teacher, are they good? Okay, are they proper? Are they correct? Are they working according to the nature of existence, to the law of causation, to the law of impermanence. Yeah? So you have to use those teachings that we have learned from the Buddha to actually check your teacher.
Does this imply that the student knows a lot more than the teacher? You know?
Not necessarily.
But sometimes, you know, to judge the teacher, you need to have some basis to do that. Right?
Well, I mean, if your teacher said, you know, you come and bow to me, but you look at them and you know that they are not behaving. They are killing, then they drinking, and I mean that's basic, right? Then it's, wow, you want me to come and pay respect to you? I'm paying respect to the Dhamma. I'm paying respect to the Buddha. But I'm not paying respect to somebody who kills and somebody who commits adultery and somebody who drinks. Right? So the Buddha said, you have to check me too. It doesn't mean that the student is necessarily more knowledgeable. But at least however much knowledge that you have, if you hear that the teachers are not doing it properly, are not expounding it correctly, then you have to bravely say no. Yeah? Okay? So any or not any mixed states, it's actually any mixed states like defiled states cognizable through the eye or through the ear. The mixed states that mean like, you know, defiled, non-defiled mixed together. Okay, so mixed state, that means the conduct of somebody trying to purify oneself, they try to do it, but cannot do it continuously and persistently. So sometimes they have defiled states, sometimes they have pure states. So it's a mix, called mixed states, all right? So you can check, okay, so if you find that, okay, this teacher is not too bad, it's not too bad. She or he was expounding the proper Dhamma, but yet some of the conducts have a lot of room to be improved. Then you say, okay, I would still take he or she as a teacher, but I know what conduct I need to carry on myself. But I can actually listen to how they expound the Dhamma, but you look at the conduct and you know, this conduct, I won't perform this conduct. This Dhamma, I will listen. I will hear. So one has to be very, very mindful. And also one has to be very objective too. And also very observant. Yeah. Okay. And then the Buddha said, did he attain it just lately or already for a long time? Of course, this means the Tathagata. So if it is your teacher, you don't have, for this lifetime, I think we can just leave this. And has this venerable one acquired renown and attained fame so that the dangers connected with the renown and fame are found in him? What do you think are the dangers? Huh? Pride. Okay. All right, good. What? Anything more? Yeah, pride, mostly pride.
Like everything else sort of goes back to pride.
Yeah, mostly pride, the conceit and arrogance. Conceit and arrogance, you know. And when somebody is not renowned, when somebody is not famous, it's very easy to be calm and to be humble. But when one is sitting up there, you know, on high throne and high seat, and everybody's so paying respect and, you know, praising and everything, this conceit and arrogance will sneak its way in very easily and can easily trap people if one is not very, very cautious about one's actions and one's mind. Okay, so when you see something like this in one teacher, then you have to really, you know how to choose. Yeah. Okay, and is this Venerable One restraint without fear, not restrained by fear? And does he avoid indulging in sensual pleasure because he is without lust through the destruction of lust? Excuse me. So the main word in here is restraint without fear. That means we abide by the precepts without fear, not because I'm afraid that I'll be reborn in hell. That's why I abide by the precepts. No. Okay, so that is a big difference. I don't have any fear. I restrain not because of fear, not because that I'm scared to be reborn in someplace else. I abide by the precepts because I would like to improve, right? I know, and I know this is the correct way to do it. That's why I abide by the precepts, right? So that's why a lot of people think that, hey, I won't take the precepts. I won't take the precepts because why? Oh, I'm afraid that I will break the precepts, that I will bear the consequences. People think that this is a very ignorant thought, because you think that you don't need to bear the consequences if you haven't taken refuge or precepts. You still bear the consequences. So I always encourage my students that you take the refuge, you take the precepts. Actually, it becomes a guideline for you to live your life, and also it's a reminder. It's a kind reminder when you are about to break the precept or breach the precept, and you say, "Oh, I have taken that precept." Oh, yeah, that reminder will pop up in your mind. You know, dang, hey, dang, hey. Then you will take a step backward and won't go forward to breach whatever that is becoming unwholesome. Okay, so, and does he avoid indulging in sensual pleasure because he is without lust through the destruction of lust? So this is actually very important. He avoid indulging in sensual pleasure. So if you see a teacher constantly indulging in sensual pleasure, then you have to have a second thought, right? About the qualities of this teacher. And the Venerable One does not despise anyone. That means they don't belittle others, right? And I forgot the names of the students, of the disciples of Buddha. And I think it was Ananda and Sariputta. They have learned from many other teachers before. And after that, they followed the Buddha. And then the Buddha said, yes, you follow me, but you still have to respect your previous teachers. So the Buddha said, you never despise your teacher if you have learned good things from them. And remember, after the Buddha became enlightened, the first two teachers that he remembered that he wanted to go and expound his wonderful, profound Dhamma was the two teachers that actually taught him the deep meditation. But found out that they passed away a week ago and they passed away the night before. So remember that story, okay, in the Nikaya. So you can see the Tathagata or the Buddha or the teacher should actually behave in this way, is respect everybody. Yeah, even though the person may not be a practitioner in the Buddha's teachings, but we still have to respect others, not to despise others. And then the Blessed One taught the Dhamma to me in this way through direct knowledge of a certain teaching here in that Dhamma. I summarize that. That means the the teacher knows which student requires what kind of teaching. Okay, so they know. So that is a good teacher. And because, I mean, if there is a young one who come in here and you go and start to teach them all these profound high Dhamma, they don't understand, they walk away. Or if you start to teach these, you know, very knowledgeable people some really simple Dhamma, they may feel, oh, you look down on me, I'm not going to learn. So the right kind of teacher actually will expound, will teach the right kind of practice to particular student. Okay, so for example, one of the very famous Zen teacher in China, at that time there was actually our great grandmaster. There was a very, very poor man who came into the monastery and asked our grandmaster to take him in. The grandmaster said, yeah, okay, you come in, and then you go and sweep the floor and, you know, cut the logs, so allow people to cook and everything. So, and he worked diligently inside the temple, and that's all he worked, and constantly working. A few years later, our grandmaster said, I think you should go away to go and learn something, you know. And he said, I don't want to go. The grandmaster sent him off. And a few years later, he came back again, and he went back into the kitchen, keep doing the same thing. Very mindful, very strong, very stable, very, very strong practitioner. But he did not know anything about the Dhamma. He did not read. He was illiterate. One night, he went to pay respect to our grand teacher. He said, Sifu, I'm going to leave you. And of course, the grand teacher knows what he was talking about. He said, okay. However much I did not want you to leave, but I know where you're going. I know that you know where you're going. He said, okay. Then he bowed, and then he left. And then the next thing, not long, then in the big monastery, they heard people call, fire, fire, fire. And those grand teacher went out into the courtyard and saw the monk sitting in his double lotus posture, and his own body went on fire. He did not burn himself, but his own body went on fire, and he burned. He actually cremated himself right there, even with the little mukyu. You know, he was chanting the Amitabha, and then he was like totally lit up. And so the grandmaster said, after he was completely burned, the whole body, sort of the shape of the ash was like that. It stayed in there. And the grandmaster said, don't touch it. Don't go close to it. Any little wind will just break that whole body, the ash. And the grandmaster asked people to go down to the mountain to go and look for a governor to come up and witness this great practitioner. You see? The grandmaster know this person can only receive that kind of teaching. It's very simple teaching, Amitabha name, just simple, and then go and do work. You know, cultivate your merits, keep on working. And because this student totally believed in the teacher, so he actually reached the enlightenment. That's that kind of enlightenment. It's an amazing story. It was I think it was in the early 30s or 40s, can't remember, in China. The whole body, the ash was sitting there for whole night in the middle of the courtyard. Amazing, huh? And you know, it's just that because they've got a wonderful teacher. Okay, if any teacher who can make you angry, who can make you more arrogant, more proud, more stubborn, and more resisting and more subjective, then you know what kind of teacher that is and whether you should follow or not, right? Okay, so 17. It is difficult to see one's original nature and practice the way. This original nature, what does it mean? What do you think it means? The true nature, yeah. What's the original nature? What does it mean by original nature? Not quite. No. Very good. Impermanence, the nature of our existence. Very good. The impermanence. It's very difficult to see our impermanence, the impermanence pertaining to this body. When we start to see that, it will become a very, very enlightened person. Even though, yes, on the surface we know this is impermanent, but truly, we still haven't awakened according to that, in that aspect. Okay? Yeah? Okay?
Is it something that's gonna dawn on me one day and it will never leave me? Or
Yes.
Is it something that
It will dawn on you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So something's gonna click?
Like a
about
click.
impermanence and
Yeah, through your own personal experience.
I'm gonna have to remind myself every day, or I got it and then for the rest of my life I'm good?
Well, you got it. For the rest of your life, you will be very good. Definitely, you'll be very good. And of course, after that, you will have another state to reach, right? Okay.
Is interdependence a part of our original nature?
Interdependent, yeah, of course, because the impermanence is actually affecting the dependent origination, isn't it? Yeah. Even the sankhara, even the sanya, even the vedana is constantly changing, isn't it? The 12 links are all constantly changing, right? Each one of them is constantly changing. Is also governed and influenced by this law of impermanence, isn't it? Anything. So the true nature of existence, whether it's animate, inanimate, whether it's human or non-human, whether it's visible or invisible, is ever changing, right? So it's nothing permanent. But on the surface, we know, yeah, I know this is impermanent. This is impermanent. But still, somehow, somewhere, there are something that we still think is permanent. Wait until we die. Why would this happen to me? I don't want to leave this world. I don't want to leave that person. I don't want to leave this house. I still haven't done this. I still haven't done that, right? Then at that time, you see, when you say, I still haven't done this, that means you still don't understand that impermanence. It still hasn't clicked completely. Darn, it's difficult, eh? You know why it's so difficult? Why it's take a long life, like many lives, eons, kalpas. Don't worry. We have a big fat seed. Yeah. Okay. So this is the 17th difficulty. The 18th difficulty is the difficult to guide beings appropriately to liberation. Even the Buddha said it's difficult, let alone us, right? Why? Because we are so ignorant. Beings are so ignorant. Because a lot of people think, yeah, you think of ourselves. We think, wow, yes, the teachings are so great. Really, I need to practice. I really need to practice. How many hours do we put into the practice each day? right? We try to hide ourselves behind my screen, hide myself. Yeah. It's so that's why it's so difficult. It really to guide beings appropriately to liberation. And in one of the very famous Mahayana teaching is called the Lotus Sutra. And among the congregation of thousands of monks and listening to the Buddha's teaching, 500 monks got up and left. And the monk asked Buddha, why didn't you force them to stay? He said, no, I cannot. I cannot force them to stay because they are so ignorant. Because this is not time for them to receive my teaching. The condition is not right. So they can't take it. And their ignorance, they're blind. They're blindfolded by their ignorance, so they leave. Even the Buddha right in front of them, they have to leave. You know, same with us, because we think that yeah, it's so nice. The Dhamma is so nice, but yeah, I can't wait. I still have time. Or this is more important. You know, all these things. And sometimes say, oh yeah, I've done a lot and I'm good enough, you know. So that's why it's actually very, very difficult. Oh, I find it very difficult myself. But I'm just trying my best to do whatever I can. Okay. So, and of course, in this, we are actually talking about those people who are already, you know, starting on the path, let alone those people who haven't started. Yeah, those people who haven't started on the path is even more difficult to actually to approach them, because a lot of times they have a closed heart, they have a closed mind, and they won't listen, and they won't look at you, they won't listen to you. How can you teach? And I remember we used to have a very frequent a lady who used to come very frequently here. She actually benefited so much from meditation, but eventually she just sort of disappeared, and then we got an email from her 3 months later, and she said, Sister Jessie, I'm so sorry that I had to leave you and Paula, even though I very much like meditation, I very much enjoyed and I very much benefited, but because my religion doesn't allow me to practice in that direction. What can you do? You want to tie her up and force her to come back? No way. You cannot do that, right? So we have a lot of merits in, and sometimes also it's difficult to guide beings appropriately to liberation, because why? Especially for those people who think that they are already on the path, and a lot of times they want to help others. Hey, I tell you, this is so good. You need to do this. You need to study. You need to do this. I think you should be a vegetarian, and I think you should be a vegan, and I think you should abide by all these pushy. And that actually sometimes, a lot of times, they force people away more than actually drawing people in. Yeah. So it's difficult. So that they have the guts. Okay. The 19th. It is difficult to be unperturbed. That means, you know, not being disturbed by circumstances. It is very difficult because a lot of times it means here in this, that means when the outside circumstances are changing or situations are changing, can we maintain that focus? Can we maintain that steadiness? Can we maintain that calmness? Can we maintain that wakefulness? A lot of times we can't. It's very difficult to actually not to be distracted actually is not to be tempted, not to be like, not to expect things, unless one is in a very, very strong samadhi state. And so like moment to moment, one is very focused and calm and knowing what's going on outside, inside, inside, outside. And then that equanimity is so strong that they don't easily get distracted and they don't easily get reacted to what is going on outside. Is it possible? No? It's possible, it's but difficult, right? But it's difficult, but it's, you know, it just needs practice, you know, keep on practicing, and layers of those old habits get eradicated. Layers of layers get eradicated. Then, you know, the reaction you less and less. I mean, remember Mr. T, who is now in Saskatchewan, he used to react just like this, like the, all the time inside the prison. Now he reacted later, at least 3 deep breaths, right? And he react less. So it can be done, but it needs a very, very strong and steady mind in order to do that. So sometimes you give and take, you walk 4 steps and you fall back 3 steps. Sometimes you walk 3 steps forward and you fall back 4 steps. So it depends on how steady and how focused that mind is and how mindful that mind is. That's why the samasati is very, very important, because samasati, the right kind of mindfulness, will bring you this samadhi, the right kind of focus, the right kind of calmness. Then you won't be like wobbling all the time and you won't be reactive so much reactive. All right. Yeah. And it is difficult to master the expedient means of the way. What does it mean is mainly talks about how we actually can teach and help to liberate other beings. And can we so find way that it is even easy and acceptable for the other being to, you know, to follow. We may be very good in our practice, but we may not be a very good teacher. Like the Olympic coaches, they could be very wonderful coach to teach swimming. And I'm sure Phelps coach must be an excellent coach, but he doesn't get 22 gold medals. 22 or 23, can't remember, don't know. He beat the record anyway, right? So you could be a very good practitioner, but you may not be a good coach. And Arhat, who has attained that highest enlightenment, it is a wonderful practitioner, must be a very good practitioner, but he might not be a good teacher. Not necessarily a good teacher. Okay? So because why? It needs a lot of wisdom in order to be able to give different teachings and different techniques, and knowing different person's personality and their background and everything, and give them the appropriate teaching. So that's why it's difficult to master the expedient ways of the expedient means of the way. That means giving the right proper tool of how to practice to different beings. Done. Chapter 12. You see? Awesome. Because this is so simple, but the 20 difficulties that we actually encounter all the time in our lifetime. So if we know these 20 difficulties, and we could actually be very humble. We could learn to be very humble and to be very accepting. Yeah. Okay, any questions? Yeah, nobody will ask any question. Unless I have a baton to pass on. Tung. Okay. So chapter 12 is done. I am going away for almost a month. Less than a month, or almost a month. Yeah. I'm going away this Friday to San Francisco for 7 days, and then I fly off from San Francisco all the way to China to conduct a 10-day Vipassana course for nuns. For nuns in at the end of August. So I'll be back, I think, on the 11th of September. So I have to see you guys in September and work hard and study these 12 chapters. Reread those 12 chapters again, if you can, and remind yourself, what kind of difficulties that I'm facing right now. How can I come out of it? And just chapter 12 is just this chapter is so much to learn and so much to put into our practice. Yeah. You all have the 42 chapters, right? You don't, because you did not attend you all have that 42 chapters, right? In the email. Yeah. Because I wanted to go through it before I wanted to put it into print. Yeah. Okay. It's in the email. Ask Eva to send it to you. Yeah. And this is a Mahayana text, because we have done a few years in the Nikaya, the middle length discourse and Dhammapada and all that. So we started this Mahayana text. When did we start? This year, right? January. Yeah. Wow, it's been 7 months. So okay. Cool. So let us. But Dhamma sharing still goes on. Okay. Let us share our merits. We allow this mind to return back to this body. Constantly experiencing changes within this physical existence and mental existence. We allow this good thought to arise on our mind for all the benefits that I gather from studying, hearing the Dhamma. May I share all the benefits with all beings, human, non-human, visible, invisible, big or small, far or near. May all beings be free of amity. May all beings be free of miseries. May all beings start to live in a world with brightness, warmth, experience love and peace. May more and more people will encounter the Buddha's teachings and study and practice and liberate themselves from their own entanglements and be happy and be peaceful. One last little story addressing to Yuka's question. I want to give you a little story. In the teachings of the Buddha, he talked about people trying to understand Nibbana. Okay, there is a fish, there is a turtle, they are good friends. Okay, in the ocean. They are good friends. And one day the turtle disappeared for many days. And then after many days, the turtle returned back to the ocean. And the fish asked the turtle, "My dear friend, where have you been?" And turtle said, "I went up on land. I went to the land." And the fish said, "Where did you go? What did you see?" "Oh, I went up to the land. I saw flowers. I saw sand. I saw mountains. I saw trees. I saw grass. I saw a lot of things." And the fish said, "What are you talking about? I don't understand." The turtle said, "Well, this is what I saw on land. All the flowers and the grass and the people and the sand and the mountains and the stones, everything." And the fish was puzzled, very puzzled, asking the turtle, "Please tell me, what is it on the land? What is a flower? What is the grass?" The turtle said, I can. This is all I can tell you. This is all I can tell you about Nibbana. This is all I can tell you about impermanence. You have to be on land to experience the grass, to know what is a grass, what is a flower, what is a tree, what is a sand, what is a mountain. We can merely know about this impermanence, but you really need to experience that before you really know what is impermanence. And same with Nibbana. Okay, Yoka? The wonderful, wonderful simile, right? The turtle and the fish. Okay, wonderful story to be with you for the rest of their life. Okay, good night. All the best and see you in September.
Safe travels.
I will, thank you.